right now. Joining us via Skype is Father Albert. He's joining us to talk about his series, Come Follow Me. And thank you so much for being with us, Father.
Hey, it's great to be with both of y'all. Great to be with y'all.
Excellent. Maybe if you could tell us how you live out your Franciscan charism in your ordinary day-to-day life.
Oh, well, you know, I was lucky because for 11 and a half years of my life as a friar, I was a missionary in mainland China. And so I was part of the Franciscan order's chance to bring back the Franciscan presence to mainland China. You might know the very first bishop of Beijing in the 13th century was a Franciscan, and then with the takeover of Chairman Mao, all the foreign missionaries were kicked out of China. But then I was able in 1992 to bring the Franciscan presence back, and so I spent 11 and a half years as a missionary in mainland China. And now my full-time job is I'm an itinerant preacher. I go all over the United States, preaching parish missions and giving workshops on the spiritual life. As a matter of fact, I just got home day before yesterday. I was giving a workshop in Attleboro, Massachusetts.
Oh, excellent.
And before that, I was in San Diego, California. And before that, I was up in Buffalo, Minnesota. So I've been on the road for the past 6 weeks. Just to give you a sense, day before yesterday, when I came home, was my 125th flight on United for this year.
Wow.
So I basically live on the road. And of course, but Bonnie, let me tell you the good news about that. And the good news is I oftentimes get bumped up to first class.
Excellent.
So I get to travel like a Jesuit priest, which is always great.
I would think they would give you something for all those miles.
Listen, I keep them in business. I keep United Airlines in business.
Well, you know, Father, you're so busy with these flights and giving retreats and presentations. How did you find the time to look into 6 different communities and record the DVD series, Come Follow Me with Paraclete?
Well, Bonnie, let me tell you. So two years ago, I did a DVD series with Paraclete Press called Catching Fire, Becoming Flame. It's based upon my book by the same title, published by Paraclete. And then I did a second DVD with them called Keeping the Fire Alive, Navigating Challenges in the Spiritual Life. Because one thing that I noticed as I go across the country, one of the things that I've noticed is that there's nothing for adult faith formation dealing in the area of spirituality. And so people are clamoring for stuff like that. So I did those 2 DVDs, and then Paraclete Press approached me with the idea for the Year of Consecrated Life to do something to introduce people to this rich tradition that we have in our Roman Catholic tradition of the different religious orders. So the DVD consists of 6 30-minute presentations, and I talk about the Benedictines, the Cistercians, the Dominicans, the Franciscans, the Carmelites, and the Jesuits. And hopefully people get a sense of, you know, what makes a Franciscan itch or what makes a Carmelite itch. Because the beautiful thing about our Catholic faith, is the way that we can encompass so many of these different paths to God.
Yeah, you're talking about that too, Father. If you could expand on it too, what would you say what would you want people to take away with from seeing these different, consecrated life congregations?
Oh, well, you know, one of the things that I would hope people take away is just the fundamental reminder that, you know what? There are many paths to God. There are many paths to the mountaintop. And so you have somebody interesting, such as Teilhard de Chardin, the great Jesuit scientist, and yet you also have somebody as simple as Martin de Porres, the great Dominican saint who, as I mentioned in the DVD, we don't even know if Martin de Porres knew how to write. And so you just see how from the most educated people like a Teilhard de Chardin to the most simple person such as Martin de Porres, we have this wonderful way how God responds to each one of us and how God calls each one of us in our own unique way to holiness. And that's why, you know, if people could just take away from the fact that each one of us is called to holiness and we've got to find our own path and then be comfortable with it and never to apologize for it. And so that's really what I hope people take away from this DVD series, just a deeper appreciation of just how interesting and multifaceted God's grace is and how it works in people's lives in so many different ways.
Father, we've been so excited to air the series on Catholic TV as part of our celebration of the Year for Consecrated Life. And with all your travels around the world, how can people stay in touch with your work and the latest developments in what you have going on?
Well, they can always visit my website, which is www.albertofm.org. And there they can see about the different books I've written. They can also follow my calendar. And they can also friend me on Facebook through my website.
Great.
Yeah.
And I loved your explanation of how to pronounce your name, Albert.
It's like teddy bear.
That's wonderful. Thanks so much.
And you know, Bonnie, let me tell you something. It's so funny because when I go to parishes and introduce myself, most people think my first name is Al and my last name is Bear. And so I have to always remind them that my first name is Albert. That's it. It's the French pronunciation, born and raised in New Orleans.
That's New Orleans is one of our favorite places. Thanks so much for joining us, and we encourage viewers to catch your series here on Catholic TV and visit the website to stay in touch with Father Albert.
All right.
All right. Have a good day now.
Thanks so
Father.
much, Father. Take some rest
Bye-bye.
before you take off again.
That's
Get
right.
some rest.
Take care.